So, hi everyone. In today's session, I want to give you an entire understanding and an overview as to how you can approach crystals along with Vastu. The reason I personally felt that this was important is because this is something I have been able to at least start off my learning journey with and understand the basic fundamentals of how both of them can be incorporated into a space to balance out the energies and kind of neutralize any negative effects happening within a space. Most of you might be wondering that does it really have any effect, or is there any kind of impact crystals can happen actually have when placed along a vastu of any space, be it residential or commercial. But today I want to be going a little further by not just debunking this myth but also telling you which are the crystals that can be placed and which zones these can best be placed in, to help you understand what are the right ways in approaching it as per vastu. So, saying that, let us get started off with a basic understanding of crystals. Now, before I actually get into that, when we understand crystals in detail, the whole concept of crystals basically comes from an understanding of healing, right? Because the crystals that we actually have are sourced and naturally sourced, crystals or materials from the earth, and these are not lab grown or anything. So each of them have their own frequencies and own attributes that they support healing, either within oneself or within a space when incorporated in. So, just to give you an understanding of it, crystals have been majorly used not just in Vastu, but even when you understand in a spiritual perspective for those who want to align their chakras, that is the seven chakras that we have. When you understand in detail, there are seven chakras aligned along the spinal cord that we have, that is from your crown chakra till your Mooladhara, your root chakra. And all of these chakras alignment are basically based on crystals, either based on the attributes that they're associated along with the color that they're associated with. So these seven chakras help in managing and balancing out these chakras for a person to be able to have a balanced life both internally and externally. They also help in healing as well if there's any negative things happening within or outside. Likewise, when we talk about our body, when we try to heal our body both internally and externally, so does it work for our spaces that we live in. Even internally, or if you're going out of this space and coming in, irrespective of it, it is going to have an impact on you. And balancing out the energy, irrespective even if it's internally or externally, is very, very important. So, the seven chakras, till what all crystals are here, I've just given you a brief understanding. You can go through on your own. You can see the screen that is linked in the side for complete details of it. So I'm not going to go into that much detail regarding that. But in terms of how to use crystals, basically you have to realize that these crystals are based on energies. And trusting them is very, very important for them to actually manifest and help you reap the benefits. You have to have belief when it comes to crystals. So that is the first fundamental thing that we have. Apart from that, since crystals are used extensively not just in India but many part of the world with various approaches to it, I wouldn't want to give you a set to or a given agenda of how you go about using crystals. But a basic understanding of it is that you have to re-energize these crystals time to time, and you have to cleanse it to actually cleanse in your own aura when kept in a space or when used to balance it. Or yeah, so that is why here you can have a run through of how to go about actually using crystals within your space. But once you understand that, let us try to understand the next level, that what are the crystals that are actually there existing that is most used as per today. So first one is the green aventurine Vajra Buddhist cut or crystal, and this is majorly used for healing prosperity issues when having in a space. So even if you feel that on a personal note based on your astrological, I'm just giving you first the basic understanding of each of these crystals, and later we'll understand and dive deep of which what you say, which zone has which crystal associated to it. So coming back into the green aventurine, so basically when you understand this crystal in detail, anybody, especially on when you have your birth charts read as per astrology, if they're finding that they're having prosperity issues, this is something that is generally given to people to help heal those prosperity issues and welcome and bring in more opportunity to get that kind of prosperity into your life. The second one that we want to talk about is the pink quartz or the rose crystal. Basically, coming into the color understanding of it, rose or pink color is associated with love or relationships. So, having a rose crystal either in terms of just say single sticks or having an entire cluster of it placed within the zone can help in increasing energies and balance out a relationship or romance related issues. Next we have the black tourmaline. So black tourmaline is basically used for any negative effect or any ill effect or any bad eyes. So if you want to ward off evil eyes or negative eyes, you can use this and seek protection from the same. Next is the red jasper crystal or stone. This again is completely related to land issues, real estate problems. So anything related to this you can resolve using this particular one. Next is your carnelian. So carnelian crystal is basically anything related with the hormonal level of your body. So if you want to balance it out in terms of menopause or in terms of issues regarding reproductive system, all of those can be dealt with this particular crystal. Next, we have the bloodstone. As the name suggests, this is basically predominantly used for curing blood related issues or purifying blood, dealing with thickening and thinning of blood, any of those issues that are arising in the body or anybody within the family. This can be used either on the person or placed within the space to enhance the thing. Then we'll talk about the tiger's eye. Tiger's eye is basically used to remove fear, self doubt, and kind of help come out of it to help you get the best life that you can. So basically this helps resolving fear, doubt, etc. Moonstone is basically everything related to the mind, the intuition, the mother. All of these aspects are dealt with the moonstone. Next comes the blue color crystal, that is your aquamarine and all of those. Again, this is basically protection, and since the blue color is associated with throat chakra, so aligning and healing of the throat chakra, the speech, all of this deals with this particular blue stone or crystal. And the last one being your yellow calcite. So yellow calcite basically deals with helping in going about, um, basically helps in yielding good digestion or any digestive issues that you're facing. It can help in resolving the same. So that is about it. So again, coming into how to cleanse any crystal, it's very important to understand that each of them have their own processes or approaches that they take in cleansing crystals. So it's, I would suggest you, if you really want to understand, wherever you're buying or sourcing your crystals, ask them how they would approach it, or if there are actual crystal healers who are there where you're buying it or purchasing these from, please do make sure sit with them and understand how they would approach this and use that into your space. But I just given you a very simple list out of how you can go about energizing your space for your crystals, for a couple of them, so you can look into this for more information. But next one I want to talk about is crystal pendulums. The reason why I feel crystal pendulums is also something that I want to talk about, especially in terms of Vastu and its association with crystals, is because when you see majorly in pendulums are basically strings where either a magnet or either a crystal is attached below. And these crystals might vary based on their attributes that they're trying to heal, or the colors that they have, or which area they're going to be hung in. Most of the times, if you understand in detail, irrespective if you're from a spiritual background, a tarot background, an actual crystal background, these pendulums are used for various understandings. Like one, if there's a yes or no question, if you see on a tarot basis, they go about answering those questions. If you go into a healing perspective, if you're having any health issues, based on that they go about doing it. If people are reading your astrological charts, based on that they use these pendulums to see where the problem is arising and how to go about curing it. Yes or no questions, like I said. Apart from that, especially related to Vastu, it helps in identifying if there's any negative energies or spaces that actually require healing, and these pendulums are either hung there or used there to see how the solution can be derived. So there are multiple approaches to actual pendulums, which this of course is not majorly used within Vastu, but there are cases and chances where I have heard at least that this has been practiced. So I felt that this is something like I would want to cover, and this is why I put it across over here. You can have an entire run through of how exactly the pendulums work and what pendulums are and all of that. This is just a quick run through. I will be of course, you can look into here, which is arising on the side screen, and you can look into it and read from it in detail. But coming into the main agenda for today is understanding in detail what are the zones that, and what are the directions, and what are the crystals that are associated to these directions or zones as per Vastu. So let me put it to you very clearly, irrespective of which school of thought you're following, especially in terms of Vastu, either be it Vedic Vastu or Mahavastu or the different types of Vastu based on your regional variations, I would suggest that these still work because the directions in which they are placed is mostly seen in all of these zones or all of these schools of thought. But it's very important to understand that you make sure these are placed in the correct zones, and yeah, so to reap the most of the benefits and to help in the healing process. So the first crystal that I want to talk about is actually, before I touch into that, firstly I want to talk about what are the relations between actual Vastu dosha and crystals. So firstly, you have to understand that in crystals, Vastu, or when associating crystals in Vastu, crystals have a very, very enchanting power to actually help out balancing energies within a space, or the helping in balancing the vibrations of energies within a space. So having them placed in the correct zone plays a very, very important factor for actually healing any of the negative things placed or done within a space. Along with that, each crystal might have a different effect based on every person's moon sign, sun sign, date of birth, astrological chart. So make sure you have a crystal suggested based on all the people residing in the space to reap most benefits and to make sure everybody's benefited from it without having any negative effects. Last one is that when you're understanding Vastu in detail, having a negatively placed crystal in any of these zones, either by a human error or just by your negligence or with zero knowledge, can give you very negative results. So it's very, very important that you actually place it in the right zones to reap the right benefits. And lastly, when there are already existing Vastu doshas or negative energies within a space, to give you an example, one of the most a common thing that we have heard, especially in terms of toilets as a Vastu dosha, is when we either have a toilet in the northern zone or the northeastern zone as per Vastu. Most of the times, when you come into a Vastu logic itself, there are no remedies directly from Vastu, apart from a few actual structural changes or completely removing it from a space. But when you come into crystals, they do suggest to keep a black tourmaline, sticks, three of them, or towers, three of them in the north zone or the northeastern zone, wherever your washroom is lying, to reduce the ill effects of having this as per Vastu. So this is such iteration of it. So there are multiple ways of how Vastu dosha is actually cleared, rectified, or reduced to a huge amount using these crystals. We'll be understanding in further how to go about approaching them. So coming into, like I said, the first crystal that we have, is an amethyst crystal. Generally, this is a purple amethyst crystal that you see, and this majorly acts in helping or counteract stress-related issues in one's life, or if any Vastu is done wrong and it's inducing stress into one person's life, keeping it in the west zone can actually help you reduce this and help you get betterment in terms of at least recovering from the kind of stress or reducing the amount of stress that you have. Next is the citrine crystals. Now, citrine basically talks about when you understand in detail about cash, money, or just prosperity and wealth in detail. And when you look at this in detail, you'll be able to understand this is somewhat the colors of the flame or the actual fire. So best place to keep this is in the southeast zone because the elemental properties align and also help in increasing the attributes associated with generating wealth and prosperity. Next is your clear quartz. Now, there are two aspects of how I would consider this. One, if you want to increase your decision making skills, or two, if you want to increase your concentration skills. The best place to keep this is in the southwest zone. The reason why I'm particularly saying southwest zone is because when you understand the attributes associated to the southwest zone, it deals with relationships and skills. So for both of this, if you want to make sure to have it in a balance and to make the right decisions and approach to it, since both southwest deals with skills and relationships, the right decision making plays a very important role in this space. Likewise, when you understand in detail about the concentration part, if anybody has their work area set up here or are taking any important financial or academic decisions over here, this would help you get better concentration, focus better, and get the right decision and make the most out of it. So that is why I would suggest the clear quartz crystal in this particular zone. The next one is the tiger's eye. Like I said, the tiger's eye is basically used for protection. It is also either helps to overall increase the family well-being, and for many years when you understand tiger's eye, the crystal itself looks very similar to the color of the tiger, and tigers and lions are told to be from the same cat family. So keeping that association, the nearest zone that we want to or suggest to keep this is the east zone, because when you understand in detail, the east is related with the Surya Dev is the sun. The lion is something that is associated with this. So in that relation, when you have lions and tigers belong to the same family, the best associated zone would be in the east zone. So when you understand again in detail the tiger's eye, apart from your family overall well-being, for those of them who are suffering with self-doubt and all of those, having this placed over here can help them increase their self-doubts better, give them better, I think, self-esteem to go about approaching and get the needed support that they want. So yeah. Next one is the Moonstone Quartz. Moonstone, like I said, when you understand in detail, either in an astrological, tarot perspective, or whatever, this completely deals with the emotional quotient, the intuition, the mother, the fertility, all of those. So, people who are either having fertility issues or issues sometimes either related to the mother, or if there's anything related to the menstrual cycle related to women, if you want any protection regarding traveling, anything of these sort, the best zone to be placed this is in the northwest zone, because when you understand even astrological perspective, the northwest zone is associated with the planet moon. So the best place to keep this is in the northwest place of your house. Next is the malachite crystal. Now malachite crystal, this is one of the green crystals that is available in the world and naturally extracted. This majorly is used for basically protecting oneself in terms of danger. The reason why I'm genuinely saying this is because one of the best zones to be placed is in the south, southeast, or east directions, and specifically the south. The reason why I say this is when you understand Vastu in detail, especially in terms of Vedic Vastu, the south zone in or direction deals with the Lord Yama, that is the Lord of Death. So, if there are any possibilities, if there's negatively, if there's no balance in this south zone, and you feel that there are many of the times people residing in the space are having a lot of provoked, possibilities where their protection is not there, or they're generally more prone to danger or life threatening things, it might be because of the negative energies prevailing in the space. So by keeping this malachite crystal here, it is going to help them, give them protection, help them get that physical stamina, protection, inner peace, whatever it is, so that they don't reach that state where they're actually going to go into that, almost lifeless state. So yeah, this would be some of the best zones, and south would be one of my most preferred zones for this. Southeast and east also along with that would work. Then comes the carnelian crystal. Now when you understand carnelian crystal, even though it is a little red in color, orangish color, the reason why we prefer this in the northeastern zone is because when you understand, the attribute associated to this is knowledge, and the northeastern zone, the planet ruling it is Jupiter. So Jupiter is told to be the planet of knowledge. So to make sure to balance these spaces, this is generally suggested in the northeastern zone. So any place, either if you're having a study area, if you're having a puja room, or if you're having just your children's play area, whatever it is, if you have anything related to children here and you want to increase their knowledge, grasping power, retention power, concentration, whatever it is, anything related to knowledge that people associated to this to gain the knowledge of this particular zone, this can be placed on this particular zone to reap the benefits. The second last one is the red jasper. Now, as the name suggests, the red jasper basically deals with color red, and this basically deals with creative ideas. On a very general note, I would suggest this in the southeast zone, because when you understand red jasper in detail, as the color suggests, red, it is associated with the fire colors, and southeast is again a fire zone, and the colors, attributes, or elemental colors relate to it. That is one level. Second thing I would say is when you understand this particular crystal in detail, this deals with creativity. And for those of you who want to actually gain benefits or monetary benefits or inflow of monetary benefits, prosperity or wealth, using this creative pursuits, you can go about placing this in the southeastern zone. The reason why I say this is because, again, when you go into an astrological perspective, the southeastern zone also deals with the planet Venus, and Venus deals with luxury and money, femininity, beauty, all of that. So best zones to be attributed with. The last crystal that I want to talk about is the rose quartz crystal. Again, like the name suggests, rose quartz crystal is basically the color pink, and when you understand both rose and pink, the basic thing that you can relate to on a general format is love and relationships. It may be marriage, it may be long-term partnership, it may be just the relationship between, or children or couples or whatever it is. On a general note, the actual stability in a relationship can be brought about by this particular crystal. So having either a particular, just one particular stone of this, or an entire cluster of this in the southwestern zone, because southwest is associated with the relationship and skills in vastu, can help in balancing out and neutralizing any negative effects happening or hampering these. So please do make sure you place it in the right zone and approach it in the right way to reap the right benefits. Now that you've been able to understand the different zones and what are the different crystals associated with it, please do note these are very, very simple understanding and a very preliminarily understanding into crystals and its relation with Vastu. This is the very limited information that I've given you today, because when you dive deeper in understanding, when you're actually incorporating crystals into your space, if you're just one person in the space, then you can definitely consider your astrological chart and understand your vastu of your space, see the defects, counteract both of them, and then give a a crystal remedy for it. But not always does this work, because sometimes there might be a huge family and each family member's astrological chart might differ. Some of them might not be able to actually take in if there's any crystal suggested. So especially while dealing with crystals, I would suggest, if you don't have deep knowledge or complete understanding of it, do not try to use it on your own. Please go about having a supervision or a consultation done from people with multidisciplinary, such as either from an astrological, crystal and vastu background, to make you get the best benefits out of it. So when placed into a space, it positively affects all the members within the space and not just for one person. But please do make sure that you use it with a point of caution, like I said, because this is highly effective. Even though this is to an extent belief, based on belief, and it's actual, what you would, the manifestations that you get from it are belief based, but irrespective, to a certain extent or percentage, you will be able to see the benefits within a few weeks to a month. So make sure you make most out of it. So saying that, I hope today's session gave you an entire understanding and overview of a basic logic of the directions and the crystals associated to them. And I hope you will be able to understand how exactly each Vastu crystals and its application into a space actually works. So saying that, thank you very much.